Hey, it's Kelsey, your best friend on the homestead from roughandtumblefarmhouse.com. And this week's video, I trapped a skunk. It was pretty exciting. I'm going to tell you how I trapped it, how I did not get sprayed, and how I set it loose. So we've had this skunk that has been hanging around for a few months. It really hasn't caused too many problems. I do think it ate one small chicken, which is obviously not great. But aside from just being a little bit stinky and it once got into my egg basket I left out, it hasn't really caused a lot of issues. And I don't like killing things if I don't have to. If I'm not going to eat it, I really don't want to deal with it. And so my plan was just kind of to ride it out. I was just going to wait because skunks in the wild live like 2 to 3 years. And so I thought, well, maybe I'll just wait till it dies. We'll just see what happens. And then unfortunately, the Star Tribune, which is a Minnesota newspaper, posted this article where they're talking about how in central Minnesota, which I am west central Minnesota, they've had a big rise in cases of rabid skunks. It's still nothing like crazy, like hundreds of skunks, but it's a lot more than what they usually see this time of year. And the biggest victim of these rabid skunks has been cattle, because cows are curious and nosy and stick their nose places they shouldn't. And so as soon as I read that, I went, well, I have to do something about the skunk. So the video you're about to see, I actually already filmed because this has already happened. So I just kind of took you through the process of how I trapped the skunk. This is not a professional skunk trapping video, mostly because, as I say in the video, I just don't have time to necessarily always just like set up the camera to get like the right angles. Because anytime you see a creator make a video, I mean, even I hate to pull you out of the moment, but as you're watching it, it's like, okay, before they went and did the thing, they set up the shot, they tested it out to make sure it was filming like all that kind of stuff. I did not have time to do this. I had a skunk in a trap. My husband was already annoyed that I like had this skunk that I had to deal with instead of doing family stuff. So it was this whole situation. I did not have time to do the content creator cool angles and action shots and stuff. I just did the things. So it's not going to be as thorough as a how-to, but at least you'll get a very clear idea of how I caught this thing. Didn't get sprayed and then set it loose into the wild because I did not want to take out a skunk. Which, one quick thing I will say, if you do catch a skunk, make sure you know in your state if it's legal or not for you to relocate it, because in Minnesota it is legal to relocate it. In some states it is not. So make sure you check that first before you have a skunk in a trap, because then you have a skunk that you have to put down somehow. Please do not drown animals. I know my neighbors, I asked them, like, oh, you know, how do you deal with them? Like, oh, we usually shoot them or drown them. And it's just, if you have to put an animal down, a nuisance animal, please be respectful of their life and just shoot them. Please do not throw them in a lake or a bucket of water or something. What a horrible way to put an animal down. So just shoot them if you have to. Wear leather gloves during this process. Please be careful. It is a wild animal that even though there's a cage between you, you can't get bit, you can't get scratched, especially if it's something that is a rabies risk. The skunk seemed very, very normal. I'm not concerned about rabies with this particular skunk, but just keep those things in mind. You will see too in the video, I start out with a skunk trap, but then I find my live trap because it was tucked away under the stairs in the barn. I didn't think that we had a trap anymore, so I bought, anyway, you'll see the whole thing. So here's me becoming a skunk trapper. So this is the skunk trap that I've gotten, the Farm Pro spray proof skunk trap, good for all sorts of critters. And it says, sorry, there's a glare there. Excellent for skunks. A skunk cannot spray because they can't lift their tail, arch their back, or see out. Fully enclosed, keeps them calm, easy to handle. So we're gonna give this sucker a try. It is about 10:30 at night because my steers were out at another farm, so I had to go take care of them. But I still want to get this skunk trap out, so let's see what we can do. Okay, so hopefully you can hear me over the wind, but change of situation. I just found our live trap when I was down here, so I'm gonna try and catch it in this instead. I'm just gonna return that other one if I still can, because, well, I should be able to, because, yeah, I'm going to try this first, because we already have it, and why pay for a trap if I don't need it? So I'm going to set this, and we'll see what happens. I'm very happy to say it appears that the live trap worked. Look at that messy farmyard. Please excuse, but there you can see a little skunk. It worked. I'm gonna get a teeny bit closer because I don't want to scare it. So please excuse the buckets. I was letting the chickens eat the last of the feed out of them yesterday. But there, I did it. I caught a skunk on my first try. So I feel like I deserve a medal for that or something. Hi, cutie. You're so little. I think skunks are so cute. But so what I'm gonna do now is one of my friends actually has a contact who takes skunks and likes to let them loose on their property. I guess there's some sort of open skunk season in Minnesota. I don't know. So anyway, I figure that gives her or him a sporting chance. So I'm gonna just give them a call, and so I don't have to deal with the skunk pest here possibly. And if I do, then we're gonna cover it with a tarp and carry it out of here and release it somewhere, because it is legal to do, like I said, trap and release in Minnesota. So yeah, we're getting close. I'd say we're 3/4 of the way done with our skunk adventure. Okay, so I'm about to attempt to relocate a skunk, forgetting things already that I have to grab. Hold on. Okay, so I'm wearing layers, kind of hot layers this time of year. I've got some leather gloves. I have a block, which I will use to prop up the cage door of the live trap. So right now I'm heading to the barn to find a tarp that I can put over top of it, and then I'm gonna get the pickup out and everything. I'm hoping the pickup starts, because our pickup sits idle an awful lot. So I'm just gonna take my time working through this. And I know it makes for better YouTube for me to like film me doing all these things, but I don't have time for that shit. I'm sorry. I just don't. Oh, you're so cute. I just don't have time to set this up and film this. It's the weekend. I got a lot to get done. So I'll just kind of show you like steps as they've been completed. I know that's, again, not riveting TV, but yeah, I get stuff done. So here we are. Here's my chunk of tarp that I'm going to use. It's a silage tarp actually used for covering hay. And skunk is there. I'm just going to go cover it up. All right, so I got the skunk covered. She definitely sprayed during the process, but the tarp took the bulk of it. Oof, it is awfully stinky though. So I did not get sprayed directly. I'm still probably gonna smell like a skunk, which is why I'm dressed as I am. But she's under the tarp, and yeah, now I'm gonna get the pickup. I got the pickup out and cleaned up all the dust and stuff. I've got a brick here I'm gonna use to prop the door open when I'm letting it loose. So all there is to do is to load it up and be on our way. I picked a location that is about 6 miles from here. It's across the river. Aside from that, oh sorry, I'm not coming to the microphone. Aside from that, it's a pretty wooded area, so it should be an okay spot to let the skunk go. From what I can tell, there's not a lot of properties around there either, so it should be a good spot to send the skunk off to an undisclosed location. If you're wondering why I'm wearing a hat and also thick clothes, it's just to my dad recommended it. So that way if I do get sprayed, it's not going to be like in my hair. Which we just think about how long it takes to get like campfire smell out of your hair. Try imagine getting, which I like campfire smell in my hair, I should note, but like versus skunk smell, I don't even want to know. So yeah, we'll just keep on trucking here. You can see the spot where the skunk was, because it was trying to dig its way out. Hi babies. Hi babies. There she is, and here we go. If anybody else has a farm truck like this, but ours doesn't have windshield wipers that work. And I had to hose it down before we left, and it didn't quite dry enough. So I had to make a quick pit stop to clean my windshield so I can see. Anyway, gotta love the old farm trucks. This thing deserves a tune-up for sure. Because it's a decent enough truck, gets the job done. And plus, for my younger days of having another old vehicle, I've got my collection of cassette tapes that I get to listen to, which otherwise just kind of sit unused. So that's kind of fun. Bummer that cassette player doesn't work anymore either. So this poor truck is just like one thing at a time. So now the cassettes just have to sit there. I was hoping to play you guys some Dwight Yoakam. I love that one song, that "Baby I'll Be Fast as You, Baby I'll Break Hearts Too." I'll just sing it for you instead whilst I'm on the way here. So we're just a couple minutes away from skunk drop-off location. Keep me posted. Okay, update. I thought for sure I had the tarp tucked around that little sucker well enough, but I just looked back to check on it, and I just see a skunk looking at me in the back. The tarp's still in there, but now I'm gonna have to try and cover it up again. So, son of a gun. And things they were going too well. It was going too easy. I can also tell that the skunk is most definitely been spraying back there. It's probably terrified because I'm sure it's never been in a ride in a pickup before. So the whole countryside is now going to smell like I'm just driving around with a giant skunk potpourri thing. Oh, Lord. Well, the only positive is that maybe it's skunked itself out. I read they have 6 sprays they can do before they run out of juice, basically. So maybe we got lucky and it sprayed 6 times and now it'll be empty. I'm gonna attempt to use, oh yeah, this should be doable. Skunk! So I'm gonna use, I have this here. I'm gonna use that over the side of the truck to recover it up, is the plan. All right, so I have set the trap open and I used a brick to hold the top open, you can see. So now I just have to wait for it to go out. We'll see how long that takes. She did spray a couple times when I was getting the tarp back over it, but that went off fairly well. Oops, sorry. So I'm hoping she just goes out. I might just sit on the back of the pickup and watch for a second and see what happens. Gonna end kind of anticlimactically here because I was getting pictures of that beautiful barn behind me. I thought, oh, for sure I'll hear it come out, like I'll hear the plastic move or something like that. And I didn't. It's like, gosh, that skunk's taking a while. So I went to go take a peek and see what she was doing in there, and she had left. I don't know how long I've been sitting here like a fool waiting for the skunk to leave, but she's gone. And it's a really nice spot. It's lots of trees. The closest farm is probably a quarter mile or more from here. It's a great big nice field. There's ponds and lots, I mean, look at all this, like, doesn't look quite as in depth from this angle, but it's like hilly and pretty and nice. So if I were a skunk, as a human, I'd be happy to live here, never mind being a skunk. So ends the skunk tale. We're skunk free. That's the way to be. Tune in next week for more misadventures here at our crazy rough and tumble farmhouse.